1, sync. Hey there, Quan here. Today I'm going to be making my third and hopefully final version of my Omnitrix, and I'm going to be showing you my process throughout as well instead of just showing you the final product. After my last YouTube short that I posted, I thought that would be the last Omnitrix that I made, even though that was a one after the one I said it was going to be the last. But I couldn't have been more wrong. I've made a few more Omnitrixes here. I'm going to show you them here. So the first one I made after the YouTube short was another version of the Omniverse Omnitrix. Pretty crude. You can flick it back and it pops up, so you can press it down here. The next one that I made was a version off of the Ben 10 movie. I didn't watch the movie, but I thought it looked pretty cool. So yeah, I found an online template and made it off of that, and yeah, really fun making this one as well. Boom. Okay, moving on, I made another version of the original Omnitrix. For this one, I used these tap lights that I bought off of Amazon for like $7, which I got like 12 for, which was a really good deal. Yeah, you can turn them on and get a nice green color. And I'm going to be using this for the Omnitrix I'm going to be making in this video. For this Omnitrix, I just wanted to keep it simple. I did not make any moving pieces or pop-up pieces. Just really simple and low profile Omnitrix. And yeah, here it's a light. There you go. Yeah, pretty good. Another one, I made this. This isn't really an official Omnitrix. This is actually an original design that I found on Instagram, so I wanted to interpret it for myself. I thought it looked pretty great. So yeah, you would turn this dial here and the logo pops up independently. It looks great. And the last one that I made, I'm really proud of this one. It's an Ultimatrix that I again used the tap light for. Here it is. And I think this one just looks amazing. Yeah, I'm super proud of this one as well. Yeah, given that I have a lot of experience making these Omnitrixes now, so I'm gonna feel pretty confident going into this. Let me know if you want any insight or more videos on the ones I just showed. But yeah, I think we should get started. So let me take you to my iPad and I'll show you what I'm thinking for this Omnitrix. As you can see, I drew my little idea here, basing this off of the same design I used for the other two Omnitrixes. So you can see that I drew the light here and I placed it in a position where I could use the button as the actual button on the Omnitrix, which I think it's going to be pretty nice. I'm going to have a cardboard cylinder here, and I'm going to be having a cube of foam here which will compress, and then once I wanted to push up on the dial and have everything activate. This light will run through the cylinder through a little slit here and will run up and lay on a cardboard circle above the foam. Then I'll have the logo, which will be made out of plastic so that it can shine through here. And then I'll have the dial be free spinning as well. And yeah, I think that should work. Also, so that I can have the dial pop up and lock down when I wanted to, I think I'm going to be doing like a magnet thing where I'll have a magnet here, 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 here. And when I twist the dial, the magnets will be disconnected. Then it'll allow the foam to pop up and I can twist it around. Then once I push it back down, the magnets will be reconnected and hold everything in place. And I think that'll work. So let's get to it. Okay, so first here I cut out 4 cardboard circles for the supports of the Omnitrix. You can see that they're not really perfect circles because I flattened the bottom here just so that I could have the Omnitrix stand up and not roll around. And to do this, I just measured the circumference and radius of my wrist, and then I drew it on a piece of paper here, and then I drew a larger one around it, and yeah, use that as a template for these four. So cut these fours out, and then now I'm gonna have to find a piece of cardboard that I can fit in the middle of here, so I can make sure everything fits. As you can see, I didn't go with cardboard, actually went with poster board because I couldn't find any cardboard that wouldn't make the opening for the wrist too tight because they were all too thick. So it's okay that I went with poster board. So yeah, I rolled up the poster board and placed the rings around it. I had the outer rings right on the outside, and then 2 inches in, I placed the second rings. Then I took a cardboard cylinder that I have and I placed it on top, and then I traced it around. The reason I traced it while it was curved because if I rolled it flat and then I traced the cardboard cylinder, then I rolled it up, it would be too tight. So doing the tracing now ensures that it would fit later on. So now I'm going to cut this circle out and then glue everything in place to make sure everything fits well. So I glued everything together and it all fits very well. This isn't glued. And now I'm going to be focusing on the center dial of the Omnitrix. And so first I took the cardboard cylinder and I glued a circle of cardboard on the bottom just to close it off. And then I cut a slit here because I know that the wire is going to be passing through, so I need that to be able to have some room to go up and down for when the Omnitrix pops up and goes down. And now I'm going to be just trying to think of a way to get the foam inside and how to construct the dial. So I have the green base that's going to sit on top of the foam, and then I'm going to plan to have the lights go on top of it and then the plastic logo on top of that. So now, yeah, I'm just thinking of how I'm going to do that. So basically with my projects, most of my time spent is just sitting and looking at this, waiting for paint or super glue to dry. I take a long time just sitting here and thinking about it. You're not the thinker! Yeah, I should be able to get this done. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take 2 plastic squares. These are from a plastic assortment box. So yeah, I'm gonna take 2 of them because one is not big enough on its own. Cut out a circle of that size to fit this tube here. I'm gonna have it be slightly larger than the green circle, and I'll explain why later. I'm gonna sandwich the light in between the green circle and the plastic circle, and before I do that, I need to feed this light through this slit here. And the wire is pretty thin, so the lack of space here, I don't think that'll be much of a problem. And I'll also make the black and green tube just to fit that in here and make sure everything slides up and down pretty smoothly. I forgot to mention that I'm going to be needing to sand these pieces of plastic just so I can create a surface that will diffuse and spread out the light, just so that it doesn't look like little dots of light in the dial. It's going to be inevitable that they do look like that a little bit, just because they're pressed up against the plastic, but sanding it will help diffuse and spread out the light a little bit better. So I made the black and green tube out of paper, and then I fed the light through the little slit and underneath the tube. And then I'm gonna have the green circle glued underneath the light, and then the plastic circle glued on top so that it'll become one piece that is glued to the tube, kind of like that. Then after that, I'll show you how to make the dial ring, the thing you actually grab to spin. Yeah, I can draw that out to show you. Okay, so I glued everything in place. I glued the battery here so that later when I put the final cover on, I can cut a slit down here, and then I can have access to the batteries. And here's where I talk about why you need to cut the plastic circle a little larger than the green circle. So when you want to create the dial for, spinning around, you want something to hold it in place but be able to still free spin. So that's why when you have the lip of that plastic coming over, you can have like a cardboard ring come under it, so then it will stay in place but still be able to free spin. And you see a drop here, but that's where this part of a circle comes in. So that's when you put these two pieces together, these two ends of the cardboard together, and you'll place it on top of here, and that's how you get that final dial shape. And that'll make sure everything stays put when it goes up and down, but still be able to freely rotate. So what I'm going to do is now work on the cover to go around the entire Omnitrix. Make sure there's a slit down here so I can get access to batteries, and then I'll start the painting. So I made the outer plate of cardboard, which I basically measured out how long it would have to be and how wide. I also cut out the notches and filled in the empty spaces with cardboard. I marked out where the batteries would be so that I can have an open latch and secure it down with Velcro. I also cut out a hole for the button, which would be the button on the battery. And I also did the same thing with the dial, where I made that angular piece for the extra detail. And yeah, so now I'm gonna go on to painting this entire thing dark gray first, and then make the button and glue it in here. I painted this dark gray and I inserted the button, which I made by hot gluing a single point and letting hot glue pile onto it until I got the proper size. Then I painted that hot glue piece green. So then I super glued it to the button on the button on the battery. And now I'm going to be cutting out a piece of black parchment paper or duct tape to match the black piece pattern here. Alright, so covered the Omnitrix with the black detail piece, and now I'm gonna assemble the dial, which essentially I'm gonna put this cardboard ring on first, then glue this angled piece around like that, and also I'm gonna add the black triangular pieces for the logo here, add the 4 detail green pieces on the dial here, and then add the white strips of craft foam, and that should complete it. Okay, and here's the completed Omnitrix. And yes, I did forget to mention the foam and magnets. You put the foam in the middle of the dial so you can have it pop up and down. And I placed 2 pairs of magnets, one on each side right under the dial, so that when you press it down, it would stay stuck, and when you give it a twist, it would pop up. Okay, and let me show you the lights. Turn up these ones here. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Yeah, looking amazing. And give it a twist. Oh my gosh. If you have any other questions on this, or you want to request any other builds, Ben 10 related, or I guess anything, just let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. See ya.